of I'm a fisher of men or be a fisher of men. So I want to talk about that as far as in the entrepreneurship space. When I say that, um, it's not really with a rod and wheel. We know that, right? So I'm not here to fish. What I want people to know is, as a leader, as an entrepreneur, when I'm bringing people in to collaborate and work, I'm not here to fish for them. I'm here to fish to teach them how to fish so that they can then grow their own business, become successful, do the things they need to do without always feeling so dependent on someone else. So I'm not here to dangle some shiny bait in front of you. I'm going to be really honest with you and straightforward as we go through these things, because what bothers me the most in business or in this entrepreneurship is the amount of people that I hear overinflate things or try to cover over the difficulties and just make it like they're not happening. So welcome in, everybody. I saw Ben hop in, Christine, Amy, welcome in. So I want to talk about this concept of being an entrepreneur and yet being a fisher of men and women. I predominantly work with women, but Ben is one of the men I work with. And so this is an important concept, and I want to talk about um, this because it's really important for you to learn how to do things for yourself. So if you're aspiring to be in business, if you're already in business and you want to grow, then you're going to have to learn to be a fisher of men, a fisher of women, and you're going to have to teach them how to do the same thing or duplicate for themselves so that you're relieved of the stress, they're relieved of the stress of needing you, and we all can move forward as entrepreneurs. So think about it like this. If every time you needed a win, someone just handed it to you, that might feel good for a moment, but what happens when they're not around? You're left struggling with no skills to create your own success. But if you learn how to fish, how to build and grow your own business from the ground up, you can create success anytime, anywhere. And so we're going to talk a little bit about how you start to learn that and some principles we're going to give. I'm going to give you 5 different principles that you should start implementing in your life, not just for business. This works for personal growth, for your family, every area of your life. So the foundation of what I do as a leader and a mentor in entrepreneurship is this. I'm here to guide you into building something solid, whether it's financial independence, a thriving business, or personal growth. I won't sugarcoat. It takes effort. It takes patience. It takes persistence. But once you learn the process and some simple strategies, it becomes second nature, just like just about anything else you do on a regular basis. You're just not comfortable with it yet, so we got to get you there. You'll have the tools and the knowledge to succeed no matter what challenges you come your way when you learn how to fish for yourself. And so that's really important. If you have a leader or someone in business who's just constantly doing everything for you, question whether they're actually doing what's best for you. Because I would challenge that they're not. You need to learn to grow and thrive on your own. So those 5 principles, and how do you start fishing for yourself if you're an entrepreneur, wanting to start being an entrepreneur, struggling getting your business off the ground, whatever it is. And today, it actually happens to be, in today's world, it happens to be that more and more entrepreneurs are digital like I am. And so that changes everything. And it looks a lot different than the mom and pop shops I grew up with and remember. I'm 60 years old. So let's start. First, you want to start with the basics. You have to learn the bottom line. You have to learn how to do the basic skills. Just like if you're fishing, you don't just have a rod and a reel and a hook out there and expect it to just catch the fish. You have to know how to string that rod. You have to know how to bait your hook. You have to know how to cast the rod so that you can even have a chance of catching a fish, right? So you've got to learn the basics first. And that, I think a lot of people skip over that. They just like, I got this and I'm going to jump right in, and they miss all the basics. But it's just like anything else. Without that foundation, you're not going to get very far. So know what you're working towards and why you're working towards it. This is kind of a mindset piece. I've learned to call it visioneering, but you have to have a vision. You have to know where you're going. Because let's be honest, if in life, if you don't know where you're going, you're never going to get there, right? It's the basis to a roadmap. You have to have a point A and a point B, where you're at now and where you want to go. A lot of people jump into entrepreneurship going, my life's going to be better, but they don't identify what it is that the really driving point is for them in business. And then the first time challenges come up, they lose steam and they give up on the business that was their lifelong dream because they don't have a vision for the future and where they're actually going with it. Remember that because we're going to talk about that more and more as time goes on. I'll probably do some lives on how to get that mindset in little short increments and how to attach all the necessary pieces so that it actually works for you. But having that vision, and it doesn't matter, your vision doesn't have to be the same as anyone else's, it needs to be yours. So if it's financial freedom, what does that look like? How much are you looking to earn, and when do you think you can earn that? You need to know. Are you just learning to make enough, earning to make enough to pay for your car payment? Are you trying to buy a brand new house? Are you trying to take the wife or the family on vacation? What are your goals? Because if you can say financial freedom, but what does that mean? To make your goals clear and make sure you know where you're going. That's step one. That's the basics. If you don't know where you're going, if you don't know what you're doing, you're never going to get there. So then the next thing that I want to talk about is you have to learn the techniques, the right techniques. In fishing, there's no there's more to it than just casting the line. You need to know where to fish, what bait to use, and how to reel in your catch. You need to know what fish you're looking for so you know where to need to know so you can know where to fish. In entrepreneurship, this means mastering the skills and strategies that help you grow your business. And welcome in everybody. We're just dropping a little bit of business stuff tonight. Hopefully that it's helpful to you that are looking to become entrepreneurs themselves. So this means mastering skills and strategies that will help you grow your business. And that could be learning effective marketing techniques. It could be learning the product that you're talking about. It could be understanding your target audience or mastering time management. But you have to learn the right techniques and what fits for your market. Because if you don't have an idea about that either, you're just throwing feed out there to the wind and nobody's really catching it. You need to know all those things. So once you know where you're going, start learning the techniques in your market to know where you're getting. That's going to be really important. And learning how to fish, because if you don't know who you're fishing for, you might be fishing in the wrong pond. And you might be looking for people or trying to talk to people who don't even match your vision, your opportunity, your product, but you've got to know who you're talking to, right? So then you need to have practice, patience, and persistence. And this is one of the things that I found lacking in most of the people that I've worked with, is that in today's world, we just think that everything's going to happen really quickly. And that, if I give just a little bit of effort, everything's going to happen for me. Welcome in, Trinity and Anita. But that's not true. There is no overnight success in entrepreneurship, not one. The backstory that you don't know, the backstory that you don't see is always years long. But it took every single successful entrepreneur patience and persistence to get there. So just like no fisherman catches a big fish every time they go out or cast their line, requires time, effort, resilience. But if you keep at it, you'll eventually see the fruits of your labor. So now we want to think back. We have a goal. We know where we're fishing, and we're patient and persistent in doing what we're doing, because it's not going to happen overnight. For most people, it's just not going to happen overnight. And if you don't develop those skills of patience and persistence, you're going to fall off and you're going to find failure quicker than you thought you would find success. So then number 4, good evening, Karen. So number 4 in this list of 5 that I want to deliver tonight is the ability to adapt and grow. And I can't say this enough. If you want to be an entrepreneur and you want to go out and change your life, then you have to learn to adapt and grow. Because if success was going to come from what you've been doing, you'd already be successful. If not the job, but the opportunity, the goals that you want were going to happen with what you're doing, they would have already happened. So I heard a great quote from somebody that was, if you want the things other people don't have, you have to be willing to do the things other people won't. And that means you have to continually embrace, not just like take it as a job, but you need to embrace that you have to adapt and you have to grow. And it reminds me of this, that like the business I know and remember and how people conducted business as a child is when I was a child is very, very different than what it is today. And it's going to be very, very different in a year from now, maybe in 6 months from now. So what worked a year ago, a month ago, a week ago, a day ago may not be the same in just a little while in the future. And so that means you have to continually be looking to see what's coming next. Be willing to learn those new skills for the new market that's out there. Be willing to grow into that market or that place that you want to take in this entrepreneurship journey. So growth is always important, and trust me, like if you want to be an entrepreneur or if you already are an entrepreneur, I see a couple who've hopped in here, you already know that one of the toughest journeys you're going to go on, just I said, I'm not going to lie to you, is to be an entrepreneur. It constantly requires you to grow, it constantly requires you to adapt. And if you can't develop those skills, your business is not going to go anywhere. And that's going to pass off into your personal life and your, as well as your professional life. It's a skill. I've mentioned it many times at award ceremonies and banquets and whatnot, that this is the hardest and yet best self-improvement journey I've ever been on, was becoming an entrepreneur and learning to serve people and even learning to be a leader that people can follow. So adapt and grow. Then you have to build a community. So this is the last one. Do not ever skip over the necessity of having a community around you. I've made this mistake in my own journey where I surrounded myself with a lot of people who were going places, who were doing the things I wanted to do, had the things I wanted to have, and I was all fired up. And then somebody hurt my feelings. And then something that wasn't expected happened, and I pulled away from the community that uplifted me so much. And then you start to feel like an island alone. And if you're alone, it's really hard to be an entrepreneur. But being in a community does not necessarily mean your family and friends. So if any of you are an entrepreneur, let me know. If you started a business or you started a venture and everyone in your family was like, "Oh my God, what are you doing? You can't do this. What are you thinking? Just go get a job, a job. Just go trade dollars for hours. Do that." Your family and friends mean well, but they probably are not the community that you need to support you along this journey to be an entrepreneur. You need to surround yourself with people who have similar goals, who have similar talents, and yet different talents. Let's like, we need to collaborate, right? So that community should involve people who are a step, 10 steps, 100 steps ahead of you, but also somebody who's a step or two behind you. You never want to be the top person on the ladder, and you never want to be the bottom. But you need to surround yourself with a community. One of the reasons why you want people who are not quite as far as you are is to help you learn and grow, to help them learn and grow. You have to be vulnerable and you have to be willing to learn from the people above you and pass that knowledge on to the people who are trying to get where you are. Community, I cannot say enough as an entrepreneur. Most people fall into depression, anxiety, and give up mode when they're not surrounded by people who can give them sage advice, uplift them when they need it, kick them in the butt when they need it, but just know where that person is going because they're doing it themselves. You can't get that kind of inspiration and support from people who aren't doing what you're doing or aren't going where you want to go because they're just not going to get it. So that was a short little snippet tonight, but I hope it helped. So again, we're going to go over five tools that you want to do to develop if you want to become a fisher of men and be an effective entrepreneur that actually gets what you want and need out of life and out of your entrepreneurship. So remember, you got to start with the basics, know where you're going. Then you have to learn the right techniques. Who are you serving? Why are you serving? Where are you serving? Practice patience and persistence because it's going to get hard. It's not always gonna be easy. There's gonna be some amazing moments. There's gonna be some really difficult moments. Adapt and grow. If you're not doing the adapt and grow piece, your success is gonna be very fleeting because you always have to be in learner mode if you wanna be an effective entrepreneur. Then remember to involve yourself in a community. Find people who can hold you accountable, uplift you, support you, and just get your dream. So I hope that helps. Now, I want to go over this as an entrepreneur, aligning yourself with a leader who embraces this mantra can be incredibly powerful. And I love this mantra. It's one I'm adapting for myself. And it's one that I've really felt, but I just never had in words before. But it's I'm here not just to lead you, I'm here to empower you. I want to see you build something that lasts, something you're proud of, and I want to help you create a future where you're not just surviving, but thriving with skills and confidence to navigate whatever comes your way. I'd love to be part of your community, part of that person who can inspire you, help you, bounce things off of. So let's get started. Pick up your rod. Let's get ready to go fishing. And just know opportunities are out there. And with the right mindset and guidance, you're more than capable of reeling in your own success. So that's all I really had for tonight. What did anybody get value from this? Tell me, what are you struggling with if you're an entrepreneur? What are the things you need to learn and know? Where where can I serve you better in the future? Hey Melba, so good to see you. Um, I am not moved yet. So Melba over I'm live on Facebook and YouTube as well. Melba, we my kids are moved to Kentucky. So I moved out to Maryland 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago, to be with my son and my grandson who has a devastating disorder that we're coping with and managing and helping him thrive through. But my son got a job in Cincinnati, and so we're moving to Kentucky. They moved ahead of me to go get settled and whatnot. And I have a commitment left of a couple of months on the place I'm in right now. So I'll be moving to Kentucky by December 1st, Melba. And I can't wait to get there. I'm really excited. I wasn't sure, like, I'm so tired of moving, but I'm really happy that I get to move and be with my family. And that's one other thing, a little caveat tonight is that I went from having a job where I talked about working, trading dollars for hours to being an entrepreneur. I had no idea that this is what I was going to do. I just knew that my life needed to be changed. And I went from working 70 to 80 hours a week, falling further and further behind on everything and not having time with my family, not being able to be there for them when they needed me, to having 5xing my income and having more time to be with my family when it's crucial and important and be a support to them. And that's one of the most important things to me in life. That's my goal, is to be able to be in a place where I can really serve my family and then start serving the community around me. So Melba, thanks for the question, and I'm glad to see you on here tonight too. And I'm going to be doing this every night for a while at 11 p.m. and just try and bring in some knowledge that I've learned, whatever hits for the day, that challenges that I've run across that somebody else might benefit from hearing. And look, some of this isn't just about teaching you. Some of this is about letting you know that you're not alone. If you can hear me talk about the challenges I've had, and we can get a community talking about this and helping each other work through, then it benefits everyone. So that's it for tonight, Melba. Oh, good. So yeah, I normally go live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday in the morning about the product that I use, that I help people with. But in the evenings at 11 p.m. Eastern time, I'll start doing these little 10 to 15-minute drops, and I hope to see you back. I hope that you guys can give me some clues as to what you need to hear and want to hear. In the meantime, I'm going to drop some of the things, the knowledge that I've gained that was the most important to me. And this whole Fisher of Men thing is extremely important. You guys, entrepreneurship does not need to be a lonely journey. You should be surrounded by a community and have that community help you with all those skills I talked about. All right, you guys, I'll see you in the morning. I got to get up early. We're going to be talking about, I just dove into a 36 and 12 fast, spurned by a conversation with one of my customers who just finished a 5-day fast. So tomorrow morning, talking about insulin resistance and whatnot, I'm going to be talking about this 36 and 12 fast I'm doing and why I'm doing it. Not everybody needs to do it. It's just something I do for my health. So we'll talk about that in the morning and we'll see you then. Thanks for joining me tonight, you guys. Have a beautiful evening and stay inspired, stay committed to yourself. We'll talk to you later. See you later, Melba. Thanks for dropping